Wendy and Super Sidewinder. Sorry if I get your names wrong on these things sometimes. I notice DBS Lord, I got his tag name wrong. Monday. I'll see if there's going to be snow. Not me personally, just in general. Tired today. See how dark it is? It's all cloudy and dark. But that's all right. Okay, let me just get on the road in a second. I tagged this one Valleys. Hey, Jess. So I want to look at some parallels and, well, more specifically, some differences between valleys in a context, in two contexts. So I was reading in Psalm 23 about Yah preparing the table before our enemies a couple weeks ago, I think. And lo and behold, this past week, Psalm 23 came up again, kind of a roundabout way from two different people. So, one person was talking about the valley and how Yah brings us out of the valley, right? But at that point in that discussion, I was thinking to myself, but that's how I saw most of Psalm 23 was in a valley, it seemed, or a meadow or a pasture. I didn't see anything but in Psalm 23. And there is that part in Psalm 23 that talks about the valley of the shadow of death, which it's just a shadow, right? And you have to walk through it, right, Wendy? Mm-hmm. And fear no evil. So there is that negative piece of the valley where it's lower and you cannot see above ridges and things like that. But then I thought how, to me, that verse with the table set before our enemies, I pictured that as being in a valley because you're not exposed. So maybe we could even put in there that the valley of the shadow of death is not, like you said, Wendy, a place to fear, but a place where it may be dark and it may be a place of solitude and a place of having to walk through it. But valleys also have, and I found this really great picture. I liked it so much that I put it on my background on my phone. It was a valley full of flowers, and it's a place actually in India. I just put it on my bucket list. It's called the Valley of Flowers, and there's lush grass and all sorts of wildlife, and they had a lot of pictures of different birds, and just so many different types of flowers. So it made me think about that though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you walk through it, but then you come to this beautiful valley where you could lay and rest, just like it says in Psalm 23, in the green pastures and by the rivers of water. Rivers and waterfalls aren't on the mountaintops. They're usually in the valleys, right? And again, with that word mem coming up, Wendy, I was thinking about water again, being refreshing and restoring. So I did write a poem about it, and I'll share it soon. Hey, Melissa. I wrote a quick poem about it. I don't know if I should write an extended version or not. I'll post it later today and see if who says I should write an extended version or not. Maybe it's good as is. I just kind of jotted it down based on those two views of the valley. But yeah, so I tend to think of the valley both ways, and I think we need to go through the valley. It's a must sometimes, and that's what the poem's about. Going through the valley is a must, and going through a dark time is a must. But then what does the rest of Psalm 23 say? That we're by the rivers of water, that we are in the pastures, that we are, yeah, don't go chasing waterfalls. I know, right? That the table is set before the enemy, in refuge and in a safe place. The Bible does also talk about refuge being in the high tower, so there's both aspects there. Or that Yah is our high tower, I should say. So I just wanted to share that quick perspective of valleys because it came up twice within the weekend from two different places. So the shadow is something you can pass through, right? Or a shadow, think about it, as the sun moves and then our shadow moves, it's in front of us and then it's on the side and then it's behind us. So you can walk past it. But yes, valleys can be places of exposure or of refuge, and you are hidden and not on any peak or ridge where you're exposed to things around you or wind or falling. I'm just using this all as metaphor. But valleys are very beautiful. Look up the Valley of Flowers in India and you'll see what I mean. So that's it. That's a short one. And yeah, Death Valley. See, and I've never been there, Wendy, and I know, it could be that too. So, like I said, I'll post my poem, Go Through the Valley If You Must. I think that's what I'm going to name it. Again, there's a season for everything, so yeah, valleys are beautiful though, and you'll come to refreshing in the pasture and in the to the river. And then at the end of Psalm 23, it says, the Most High anoints your head with oil and your cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. So, yes, Valley of Dry Bones too, right? Mm-hmm. It depends which part of the world you're in. So it depends on the part of your world you are in, right? So there's two aspects of the valley. Death Valley, the shadow of death, walking through it. There you go. You guys have all these cool real life depictions based on where we live, right? Well, I don't have any valleys where I live, obviously. The Midwest is more that pasture verse. Even if it's a pasture, I don't have any hills either. I take it back. Wisconsin has hills, and I think Southern Illinois has hills. Southern Indiana probably has hills. I've never been there. Definitely been to the mountains, and I've been up the mountain and down the mountain. So, literally and figuratively. Yeah, so just take those two aspects with you, and Yah showed me a few things through that 2 times, so it's kind of like a witness to me. So I'll take it, and I will share my poem later, and you let me know if I should make an extended version of my poem. Oh yes, I have been to the gorges too, Wendy or Melissa in Oregon. Daffodils, that sounds pretty. Okay, that's all for today. Blessings.